This week on Ebert and Roeper.
People always climb to the highest place so that one of them can fall off. Lion goes off in the cornfield.
The last thing this movie needed was more corn.
The Rock, as you said, is a movie star.
Let's go.
You got the moves. I'll give you that. Ow!
The Rock faces Christopher Walken in the jungles of the Amazon in The Rundown. It opens next week, and we have an early review. One of 6 new movies on this show. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. Cold Creek Manor is a good-looking thriller by an excellent director with strong performances from Sharon Stone and Dennis Quaid. Yet it's oddly flat with an exasperating plot, lots of strange turns, and hardly any legitimate scares. Quaid plays Cooper Tilson, and Stone plays his wife, Leah. Frazzled to the breaking point by life in Manhattan, they take their 2 children to upstate New York and contemplate buying a sprawling, rundown mansion known as Cold Creek Manor.
Can we buy this house, please? It's so cool, can we?
I don't know. What do you think, Angel?
It's pretty cool. Mom, what do you think?
We'll see.
I guess that sheriff was just standing in place waiting for Stone to open the window so she could frighten her. Stephen Dorff plays Dale Massey, the ex-convict who used to own the house.
I do have one question for you, though. Do you know what you're getting yourself into?
Against all logic, the Tilsons hire this obviously menacing creep to work on the very house where he used to live. Even more unbelievable is Leah's flirtatious interest in Dale.
I don't think your daughter likes me very much.
Oh, sure she does. She's just a bit shy.
She's a pretty girl,
Yeah.
just like her mama.
Dorff's one-note portrayal of Massey is a major problem with this movie. It's so obvious this guy is deranged and dangerous that the Tilsons come across as utter fools for allowing this man into their home, and the townsfolk apparently resent City Slickers so much that nobody seems to notice that Dale's ex-wife and children have disappeared, leaving behind such tiny pieces of evidence as an entire automobile in the woods. The cardboard characters go through the standard stalker movie paces until Cold Creek Manor plods to a predictable and violent conclusion on, yes, a dark and stormy night. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down for me, too. The Dark and Stormy Night, of course, also involves them all on top of Cold Creek Manor under the rule of the climbing killer and the climbing victims, where people always climb to the highest place so that one of them can fall off. And you know, this Dale Massey character, the Stephen Dorff character, is such a convenience to the plot that he can never be believed as himself. There's one moment in the movie, I don't want to give away too much, where he does something to Sharon Stone. And then he has a long time to do exactly the same thing to her husband. And he doesn't because they want to keep us in suspense, and he allows Sharon Stone to be rescued so that they can all then repair back to the house, climb up to the roof, and somebody can fall off.
It's ridiculous, and it's also just about 2 hours long. It's about a half hour too long. The pacing is so plodding and slow, and even the standard movie scares with somebody opening the door and somebody being right there or something jumping, they don't seem to even have the timing correct on that, so it's really a misfire.
He is quite a handyman, all right. I mean, how easy is it to kill a horse and get it into a swimming pool all by yourself?
I know, I noticed
That's
that
tough.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, real mess.
Every boy should have a couple of uncles like the ones in Secondhand Lions, or maybe they shouldn't. Robert Duvall and Michael Caine play a couple of ornery loners on a rundown Texas ranch who are rumored to have millions of dollars stashed away somewhere on the property. They're not exactly babysitter material, which makes it kind of strange when their niece arrives one day with her 14-year-old son and announces he's going to be spending the summer. He's played by Haley Joel Osment.
Show him you're friendly, honey. Let him smell your hand. Hey.
Life on the ranch is weird but wonderful for the kid once he understands that in their own way, the uncles are good guys and they really love him.
I'm telling you, take him to the orphanage right this minute.
Whether we take him to the orphanage or tie him up and throw him in a lake, it's our business, not yours.
The uncles pass the time firing shotguns at traveling salesmen, but occasionally they can be talked into buying something.
Can I keep him?
I'll look after him and take care of him and feed him and everything. I've never had a pet of my very own before.
So, kid, you want to take care of it, nurse it back to health? Good. Then we shoot it.
Secondhand Lions is deliberately goofy, and the story is so whimsical and lackadaisical, it takes good actors to keep it afloat. Duvall and Kane and young Haley Joel Osment do exactly that, though, and more. As the kid hears stories about Duvall's adventures in the Foreign Legion and his love affair with a desert princess, he asks himself if these stories can possibly be true, and Duvall's answer is, it doesn't matter as long as you believe it. Well, I didn't even believe it, and I still liked it, especially the way these two old masters, Kane and Duvall, traded laconic dialogue and hardly ever let us see their eyes twinkling.
Thumbs down for me. I think Michael Caine is badly miscast in this movie. I didn't believe him for 1 second in that role. And even Duvall, who I love, is doing a role that he's done so many times in much better films. And Haley Joel Osment is at a strange point in his career between childhood and becoming a young man. And I don't think he's comfortable. And you know, he was such a good actor in The Sixth Sense and AI. I don't think he gives a good performance here.
Oh, I think he's
I don't buy those flashback scenes. They're like cheesy B-movie stuff.
Oh,
and they're not funny, and they're not that enthralling. And we keep going back and forth.
Flashback scenes are not necessarily supposed to be anything more than cheesy B movies.
Well, we spend a lot of time with them, though, because that becomes a problem. And all this stuff with Kira Sedgwick's character, it just, to me, there's all these different elements here that don't mesh together to make a compelling story.
I can see the point you're making, but on the other hand, isn't it kind of neat about when the lion goes off in the cornfield and when the kid finds what's underneath the barn floor and stuff like that?
The last thing this movie needed was more corn, let me tell you. Okay, next, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beyonce in The Fighting Temptations.
Once upon a time, there was a magical place where it never rained. The end.
The hit movie is coming to Disney DVD and video. Stanley Yelnats uncovers a mystery buried deep within his own family.
No matter what is in this box, we are still family.
With bonus features including a gag reel, deleted scenes, and the Dig It music video.
I got a good feeling about today.
Holds on Disney DVD and video Tuesday, September 23rd. Rated PG.
Chicken margarita with angel hair pasta and roasted garlic in a balsamic vinaigrette sauce.
Is this man reading A, exciting recipes from a new cookbook?
Beef merlot with seasoned red skin potatoes and crisp whole string beans.
B, the menu at a hot new bistro?
Chicken Tuscany with sun-dried tomatoes and a creamy Parmesan sauce.
Or C, his favorite dishes from around the world. Surprise, he's reading green boxes. Introducing 12 new Healthy Choice flavor adventures. Healthy Choice. Eating healthy has never been more exciting.
Mom, yesterday, Tina took her first steps. Isn't that amazing?
I didn't know Maytag made ovens.
And not just any oven, but the biggest one ever. The new Maytag range has the largest capacity you can get with room for a turkey and 4 sides. The new Maytag oven, big enough for all your baking needs. There's never been a better time to buy a Maytag.
Maytag, depend on us. Now's the time to save at Standard TV and Appliance in Portland, Beaverton, Tigard, and Bend.
Smart buyers, this is it. Buick Closeout 2003. How about up to an incredible $4,000 total cash back on new 2003 Buick models? A Consumer's Digest Best Buy. The Buick Power Player. $4,000 total cash back on Rendezvous. Nearly $4,000 on LeSabre and Park Avenue models equipped with leather-appointed seating. You talk about a smart time to buy. Get into your participating Northwest Buick dealer.
Now that you've listened to my story, here's the one that I made.
Our next movie is The Fighting Temptations, starring pop sensation Beyonce Knowles as a single mom with an angel's voice and Cuba Gooding Jr. as the scheming devil who falls for her. This is an exhilarating musical, but it's dragged into thumbs-down territory by a dreadful story that creaks along between the rousing gospel numbers. Gooding plays Darren, a financially strapped serial liar who comes home from New York for his Aunt Sally's funeral.
I got a signal. It's a miracle.
Son, if that ain't Jesus calling, shut it off.
Aunt Sally's will stipulates that Darren will get $150,000, but only if he takes over the choir and leads them to a big gospel tournament. Beyonce plays Lily, who's headlining at a local joint. Soon, Darren has assembled a wacky cast of singers for his choir, including some barbers played by the OJs and some hardcore prison inmates, including the hip-hop artist known as T-Bone.
El Shaddai, Elohim. Got me tripping, y'all. Now we're laying down all of my burdens because I don't want to be left and burning. Flirting with death and
The Fighting Temptations borrows from the Blues Brothers, Sister Act, and every movie about an advertising executive who has an epiphany during a presentation and dashes back to the small town and the girl he loves. Gooding is more desperate than a puppy dog to win our affections as he bounces and twirls and mugs all over the place. And Beyonce's a gorgeous talent, but she's not quite there yet as an actress. The Fighting Temptations would have been a much better movie if they'd trimmed about 20 minutes from it, 20 non-musical minutes. I say buy the soundtrack, you can skip the movie.
If you skip the movie, you're going to be missing a really great comedy with a lot of human nature in it, and that's what I liked about this movie. I grant you, the plot is on autopilot from beginning to end. We know everything is going to happen.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me because this movie is filled with so many great character actors, such a depth of interesting characters and funny lines and funny performances and zingers and personal observations and put-downs. It reminded me of Barbershop.
I missed a lot of those zingers, and I thought you had a lot of cardboard characters who were brought in. Oh, let's get the three wacky prison inmates, and with one guy's got the high voice, and the church organist.
That you have three prisoners in the choir?
Oh, because it's like something out of sitcom world. You know, they're wearing their outfits that say inmate on the back.
But of course, this is a sitcom.
It's just eye-rolling.
I think it's great that guards with shotguns are guarding them while they're singing in the choir.
Oh, you know, like, well, as I said, we saw that in Blues Brothers 20 years ago as well.
Okay, coming up next, The Rock breaks through in the rundown.
It's clearance time on an incredible selection of Toyota SUVs. Make time now and get as low as 2.9% financing on the roomy Sequoia, smooth-riding Highlander, or playful RAV4. Or get $1,000 cash back on the sporty RAV4, spacious Highlander, or the versatile Sequoia. Toyota time. The time is now. See your local Toyota dealer.
Hey, kids! Can we go to McDonald's?
McNuggets Mania just flew into McDonald's for a limited time. Now you can get a 6-piece chicken McNuggets for just $1.
We're getting closer.
Or a 10-piece McNuggets for just $1.69.
We're almost there.
6 or 10 crispy golden chicken McNuggets.
There it is!
Don't forget to add a Dr. Pepper and world-famous fries to this amazing deal.
Can we have dessert too?
Who is this woman? Donovan McNabb and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, what's going on, Ben?
Come on in.
Where's the kitchen?
Back here.
And they're bringing dinner.
Can't believe these guys.
Campbell's Chunky Chicken Corn Chowder. Now heartier with even more chicken. Sure beats another frozen dinner.
One game before you go. I'm McNabb.
No, I'm McNabb.
Come on, Donovan. I'm always McNabb.
I am McNabb.
Boys, play nice.
I'm McNabb. It's my house. I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
I'm McNabb.
Have chunky soup for dinner. Make it Campbell's instead.
I've had a crush on you since we met. Couldn't you tell the way I was ignoring you?
There was something compelling about your apathy.
Woody Allen's new movie, Anything Else, stars Jason Biggs as a would-be writer who is crazy in love with Christina Ricci, who is just plain crazy. We gave it 2 thumbs up on last week's show. It opens this weekend.
Yeah, great performances in here, and it's just a wonderful screenplay by Woody Allen. And it's nice that he's got a nice role for himself, but handed over the romantic comedy reins to young Jason Biggs, who does a terrific job.
I love the fact that his dialogue is so smart, and you can just listen to the whole movie without people just saying dumb things all the time. Okay, next movie. Werewolves and vampires fight their Armageddon, and humans are the prize in the new thriller Underworld. Kate Beckinsale stars as Celine, a sexy vampire leader who obviously has an unlimited charge account at North Beach Leather. She falls in love with a human, a young intern played by Scott Speedman, and what she can't understand is why the werewolves seem to be following him. What she doesn't know is that they plan to enlist humans on their side by biting them and making them half werewolf.
Who are you people? Whether you like it or not, you're in the middle of a war that's been raging for the better part of 1,000 years. A blood feud between vampires and lichens. Werewolves.
Sophia Myles is another vampire, one who senses in Michael a hint of her ancient enemy, the werewolf. Celine's rival for control of the vampire empire is Lucian, played by Michael Sheen. I guess he hates Celine for breaking the laws against dating humans and werewolves. Now, the idea behind this movie is an intriguing one. Werewolves and vampires and a final showdown with lots of rules about who gets bitten by whom and what happens then. But the movie is essentially a mindless video game that hardly ever stops to explain anything. The characters strut around putting on a fashion show, and then it's time for another endless action scene. The first dialogue in the movie doesn't even occur until 15 minutes in, which means we didn't understand anything that happened before that, but that's okay because we don't much care about anything that happens later either. A movie that looks this good shouldn't be this dumb.
Oh, I don't think it's dumb at all. I think it's the Montagues and the Capulets as werewolves and vampires. And I've been waiting a long time to see a Shakespearean werewolf vampire movie, and here it is. I think it's a lot of fun. Kate Beckinsale looks great. And of course, yeah, it's all about the fashions and the goth look. And it looks like a comic book, although it's not. It's from an original idea. I think it's an obvious pairing, werewolves and vampires. And I think they succeed in making it an interesting story.
Well, why not make it a story? And then it would be interesting.
There is a story. There's all kinds of flashbacks about why they're
around and attacking each other all the time.
No, there's plenty of story there. There are flashbacks that give us a lot of backstory on these characters.
It's a confusing jumble.
It is confusing at sometimes, and they take time to explain it to us, and there's great action scenes and very, very sexy vampires. In fact, my only complaint is it's already got the R rating. Why not have a little more about the sensuality going on?
Well, I wouldn't have complained about that, but Hollywood seems to be afraid of sex these days. They love violence, but not anything erotic.
Yeah, even when they're biting on the neck, it's all about the blood and not how good that sometimes feels. Okay, next is The Rundown. It opens next week, but we've got the early review. This wildly inventive, bang-up adventure marks the arrival of The Rock as a bona fide movie star. Not just an awesome physical specimen and creatively destructive fighting force, but a charismatic and very funny leading man. He plays Beck, a bounty hunter hired to retrieve a crime boss's son from the depths of the Brazilian jungle. Sean William Scott, you know him as Stifler, is the smart-ass son.
Big boy, you like thunderstorms? Huh? Bet you do, right? Uh-huh. Little thunder.
Stop it.
Little lightning.
Stop it.
Thunder, lightning, ears! Oh!
The Rundown is also blessed with the crazy genius of Christopher Walken as a ruthless gold mine operator trying to prevent Beck and Company from finding a priceless artifact that could win the locals their freedom.
I feel like a little boy who's lost his first tooth, put it under his pillow waiting for the tooth fairy to come. Only two evil burglars have crept in my window and snatched it.
Every fight scene in The Rundown is spiced up with ear-splitting sound effects, jitterbugging camera moves, and some of the best hand-to-hand combat choreography this side of Jackie Chan.
It's like spinning Tarzan jiu-jitsu.
Director Peter Berg infuses The Rundown with dozens of innovative shots, though at times he's like a guitar soloist who doesn't know when to quit. You don't really need strobe lights and rapid-fire cuts when you've got The Rock on your side. But from the opening scene where The Rock dismantles an entire NFL offensive line to the climactic showdown pitting him against dozens of snarling villains, The Rundown is a great action ride that's funnier than most pure comedies. I don't care what the calendar says, this is the best summer escapist film of the year.
I agree with you about this movie, and I agree with you about The Rock. And there are two other star-making performances here, I think, by Rosario Dawson and Sean William Scott. We've seen them before, but not this way. Dawson expands from urban roles into a convincing and sexy action heroine, and Scott shows the irreverence that was so important to the American Pie pictures. It's kind of unusual for a big movie like this to star three relatively new faces, but boy, they come across so strongly.
That's a good point.
This movie is just pure entertaining.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of rare to see three kind of up-and-coming stars. And Rosario Dawson, I think ever since Kids, that film, that you know, I saw star potential there. And Sean William Scott, sometimes when you're in a movie like those American Pie movies and he's so well known as Stifler, you think, is this guy going to be able to break through? But he's showing that he's got it. And then, of course, when you got Christopher Walken, that right there, my thumb's already going this way when he's in a movie.
He's got one of his patented monologues. This time it's about the Tooth Fairy, and he's trying to explain the Tooth Fairy to people who don't speak English and have never heard of the Tooth Fairy, and so he's got this wonderful point that he's making that everybody misses, and then he gets all frustrated. Walken is almost worth the price of admission in any movie that he's in.
And the thing about The Rock is he's so comfortable, even with the quieter moments in dialogue, where a lot of times action stars, athletes, or wrestlers, if you will, turned actors, you have to cover for them. You can let him carry the film even when they have some slower moments.
You can see in this movie that The Rock, as you said, is a movie star. He may be limited. I don't think we're going to see him in a lot of Eugene O'Neill right away, but he's got the relationship with the camera and with himself that really is convincing.
Yeah, real lot of fun this film was.
When we come back, Daryl Hannah is waiting to adopt a Mexican child. She's checked into Casa de los Babies.
That'd be awesome.
Visit our website at ebertandroper.tv or at movies.com.
The GMC Sierra Extended Cab with more standard V8 horsepower than the new Ford F-150. Try as they might, they still can't catch us. Professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Where will you be when your diarrhea comes back? You should have taken Imodium AD the first time. Don't wait till it's too late.
What did you have for dinner?
Last night, I nuked half a soggy chicken burrito.
I zapped a veggie dog and 4 chewy buns.
I turned turkey into jerky.
I had a crispy crust pizza topped with mozzarella, Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano cheeses sprinkled with basil. It was one of those new lean cuisine pizzas, right out of the microwave.
New crispy crust pizza from Lean Cuisine. It's not just lean, it's cuisine.
One big time dirt and odor gone? New Neutrogena Men Power Scrub Bar has it wrapped up. The washcloth and deodorant bar in one. Special texture scrubs deep down. Devours odor. Want to feel a new kind of clean? Neutrogena Men Power Scrub Deodorant Bar has it wrapped up.
I have been here over 2 months.
Pregnant women wait 9.
Yeah, but they get to throw up and develop varicose veins and stuff.
A group of American women wait week after week for news of the Mexican babies they hope to adopt in Casa de los Babies. It's the new film by John Sayles, a hero of independent filmmaking, whose stories are so often about confused people in difficult situations. This time he has no heroes, no villains, just babies caught in the middle between sad people. As they wait for a call from the orphanage, the women sunbathe, daydream, drink, have lunch, and gossip.
The whole thing is such a game.
They're just doing what they think is best.
For their bank accounts. Why do you think they've got us down here for so long? They're gonna make us earn our babies. It's part of the balance of trade.
That's Marcia Gay Harden as the malcontent, and we also saw Susan Lynch, Daryl Hannah, Lily Taylor, and Mary Steenburgen. The women don't worry about what kinds of mothers they'll be, but they worry about what kinds of mothers each other will be.
I know you guys aren't supposed to diss anybody, but you gotta admit, she's a sociopath.
Is that anything like a psychopath?
With a lower body count, yeah.
Then why are we letting her have a child?
Rita Moreno plays the owner of the motel. She's seen a lot of mothers and babies come and go and has a different political outlook than her son, played by Juan Carlo Vives.
¿Tú y mi tío Ernesto traficando niños?
Damos un servicio.
Un servicio para yanquis con plata.
¿Estarías más contento si las mujeres ricas fueran de aquí? ¿Sábelo todo?
Son unas parásitas.
In an ordinary film, there would be an obvious plot about neurotic mothers, scheming officials, or babies in danger, but Casa de los Babies doesn't want us to get all worked up over plot manipulations. It simply asks us to consider these lonely women and an economic system that lets them adopt other people's babies. Nobody's evil, it's just the way things are. Sayles allows all of his actresses at least one big scene, and the story that Daryl Hannah tells about her character's miscarriages is truly heartbreaking. The movie wants us to feel like we've shared these lives at the Casa de los Babies, and it does.
Well, thumbs down for me. You mentioned that Daryl Hannah scene, and that's exactly when the movie lost me, because I didn't know what was going on there. She's describing all these tragedies, and I'm thinking, are we supposed to think she's got a criminal mind going here? Is there more going on here? Did all these terrible things really happen to her? Because it seemed like Sayles had ladled way too many things on there. There was another scene where the two young mothers, one who can't speak English, one who can't speak Spanish, tell their various stories, and it's beautifully written, but it feels so written. It feels like on the printed page it would be great, but cinematically it fails.
His approach is to give each of the actresses a monologue, a big scene where she talks from her own experience, and I think it really does work on that level. It doesn't matter that they can't understand each other's words because they understand each other's feelings. And as for the Daryl Hannah scene, I took it exactly at surface value, and I thought that she really did a good job with that dialogue.
I just thought there were too many strange and shrill characters. I like John Sayles a lot. I like his writing a lot, but I thought this was all about writing. You mentioned no plot. There really wasn't any at all.
Well, no, I kind of like the fact that it's just about these people in this place. Okay, looking ahead to next week's show, Drew Barrymore and Ben Stiller have The Neighbor from Hell in Duplex.
4C Sierra Extended Cab with more standard V8 horsepower than the new Ford F-150. Try as they might, they still can't catch us. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
At Quest, we live among our small business customers. So we talk to them a lot about their communication needs.
And what they tell us is,
make it really simple, predictable,
affordable.
Bueno, esto es para ellos.
Introducing unlimited possibilities for small business.
Unlimited local service with unlimited long distance plans.
All for one low price.
All on one bill from Quest.
We're making it easy for small business
to do business with us.
That's our spirit of service.
Looking for a house to call home? Start your hunt with KATU.com and Century 21 Wright Christie & Associates. Just one click and you'll be linked to virtually every house up for sale in Portland and Southwest Washington. Get specific with your search. Find the right style and location and price to fit your needs. And see the house you're looking for before you step outside. So go to KATU.com Homes, your key to finding not only a new house, but your new home.
Okay, recapping this week's movies, 2 thumbs down for Cold Creek Manor. We split on Secondhand Lions. We split again on The Fighting Temptations. We split yet again on Underworld, but 2 thumbs up for The Rundown. It opens next week. We split on Casa de los Babies, and anything else got 2 thumbs up on last week's show. It opens this weekend.
Remember, you can hear all of our recent reviews at Ebert and Roeper.tv.